Day 33. Stop worrying about AI. I will fully admit, parts of this video are rooted in fact. Parts of this video are purely my own opinion. The fact remains that I don't think, as a matter of fact, I'm convinced that AI is not going to take over the way that some of us think it's going to, the way that a lot of these, higher powers that be, tech billionaires, big CEOs, the way that they want it to take over. But with that being said, it's not going to disappear entirely. So what I'm getting at is that knowledge is power. Some of y'all it would really help you to educate yourselves on what AI actually is, because the technology's here. It's not going anywhere. Will it take over? Will it have these sweeping effects? I highly doubt that they want us to think that it will. I highly doubt that's ever going to happen. So the deal with AI is that it takes a shit ton of energy to produce. It takes a whole, again, look into this, please. It takes a whole bunch of energy to run. It's a very high energy. It causes a lot of pollution. It's not sustainable. And again, I'm not here to go off on a whole tangent about nuclear powered energy, but there's a lot of people that say, oh, it's nuclear energy, so it's sustainable, it's renewable. So the thing about nuclear energy, in a nutshell, is that there's no safe way to harness the waste. So things like Chernobyl, things like these big nuclear reactors, like Fukushima, these big explosions that happen, that's what happens when you start storing nuclear waste, okay? So again, the powers that be have invested all sorts of money into AI, so they're really banking on this technology being a huge part of our futures. And I think that it's a bet that they're all in at this point. But folks, AI is not going to take over childcare. It is not going to take over education. It is not going to take over pet care, cleaning, and even things like being a tour guide. Nobody wants a tour by a robot. So while I understand that there's people that are going to say, oh, but yes it will. Oh, but haven't you seen what it's doing? Yo, I live in a city with self-driving vehicles. Okay, I've seen the way AI works with my own two eyes. And so what I'm getting at is that even if you think that AI is going to have all these sudden effects, which I'm convinced it will not never will have take over the way that they want us to think it's going to take over. Guess what? Even if we'll just play devil's advocate and we'll just say that sure, AI is going to take over everything. Guess what? It still has to be monitored by a human being. And again, certain industries like childcare, like pet care, you're not going to convince me that we're ever going to reach a place where human beings are okay with their children being taken care of by robots, where people are going to be in any sense okay with going to the hospital and being operated on by a robot, right? That's not by a human. So yes, will AI help us out? Will AI be a part of certain industries, even a larger part than it currently is? Absolutely. But we're still going to need human beings with functioning brain cells to lead certain industries. And that's why I tell people in your businesses, stop worrying about AI. Learn about it, know about it, become educated on it. But stop worrying that it's going to take over. Now, if I was in certain industries like being a checker, if I was in certain industries again, there are certain industries that will get taken over. If your only skill is being an Uber driver, sweetheart, I'd start looking at the future, okay? But anyway, as far as taking over your entire business and putting you out of business, we have some time before those changes are happening. So that's my little spiel about AI, artificial intelligence.